Hi, Amy Korenik here at the Polyform Design Center, and I want to encourage you to play with some Pluffy. If you haven't tried Pluffy, I really think you should give it a go. This is a little finger puppet that I made out of Pluffy, and Pluffy is just way different than all the other clays because it's so lightweight, but it bakes up rock hard. And it has so much play value because it's ultra squishy, perfect for little tiny fingers, perfect for parents and children to work with together. So I'm going to show you how to make a little finger puppet. And then we're going to work on a lion today. You can go on the website and see how to make some of the other creatures if you'd like to. And first thing I need to show you is how to make a form to fit your little finger puppet onto, because you can't stick your finger in the oven. So we're going to make a substitute finger or a faux finger out of some aluminum foil and Scotch tape. So just start by wadding this stuff up in a basic cylindrical shape. It doesn't have to be real neat or anything. And make it kind of long so that it sticks out of the base of your puppet. And so that's basically the shape, but that's a little too skinny for an adult finger. So if the adult is going to be the puppet master, you're going to need to make this bigger. Or you could just make it the size of a child's finger. Just depends on what you want to do with this project. So I added another layer to kind of beef this up and make it more the size of an adult finger. And then once you have it to here, you can roll aluminum foil in your hands to help smooth it and get this outside area smoother so it doesn't trap clay. And then ultimately what I like to do is put just a layering of Scotch tape around the outside. Just wrap it around and wrap it around different sections, covering up that shiny, slick surface of the foil. This helps flatten out all those gaps and things too, makes it more uniform. And then that helps the armature release from the puppet once it's baked, because you are going to bake your puppet on your armature. So this is the one I used, and I worked at this quite a bit. I kept adding layers and rolling it in my hands like this to get it smoother and smoother. You can see it is quite a bit smoother than this one. And then I added the tape layer on the outside. Once your armature is done, to make a little puppet guy like this, you're going to need a kind of a large base that you can insert your finger into. And you want your finger to go in fairly deeply so that if you have decorations up on the top, he's not too top heavy and you can actually wiggle him around without him flying off. So I have a large base of yellow Pluffy here, just like a big tube, and I want to stick my finger shape into it and then rework this down around the finger shape so that there's enough of a pocket in there to get a lot of your finger inside. Now Pluffy has the ability to get really, really smooth, and if you want to work at this, you can get this just as smooth as can be. And it has sort of a real, I don't know, it's just really smooth and sort of suede-ish on the outside. Like, I don't know, you've got to touch it to really know what I mean, but you'll like it once you try it. I've got a big ball rolled here for the head, and I'm just going to stick that right on top. And I've got a long rope for the mane. And I'm just tucking that in around his shoulders. Okay. Now before I put his little feet on, I'm going to score some lines up this way to sort of imply that that's where his legs come down. These, you know, these are fun. They don't have to be completely accurate, but just a few marks here and there can imply all kinds of information about the little animal's body. So now that I put my feet on the bottom, it actually looks like his legs are kind of coming down to the feet. I like to use the Etch and Pearl tool also to score some toe marks. I'm going to put my finger behind on the top of the foot so that when I push upward, my finger is there to keep it from traveling all the way up his body. Some cute little toes. Then go back and kind of push these back into place. It's just so soft, and I think that's why it would be really easy for little hands to work with. I live with a 7-year-old, and she plays with Pluffy all the time. It's her favorite because she doesn't need me to help condition it. She can just do it all by herself. I'm going to take the same tool and score some marks to indicate a mane. And then I have this shape piece that I'm going to use for the ears and the mouth area. I just make kind of a tapered on both ends little rope, I guess, and then I bend these two forward till they touch, and then put one on each side of the head. I think a good way to work this with children would be possibly for an adult to maybe make the basic shapes and then let the child apply them and actually build the animal. I think, you know, they're not going to come out perfect, but it's certainly going to give a lot of play value and a lot of fun for an adult and a child to do this together and to work together, and then when it's all done, to put on a puppet show together. So for the eyes, I'm using some green Pluffy, and I'm just going to push that really flat. Pluffy sticks to itself really well. It's real sticky stuff. So I got some green eyes. I'm going to flatten out some black pupils, put in there. And I'm putting this on before I put the muzzle, which are these little teardrop shapes. That way the muzzle can kind of cover up the bottom of the eye. He's really coming together. And then I always like to put a tiny white highlight in eyes, especially little caricature eyes, just to give them like a little glint, a little glimmer of orneriness or aliveness or whatever you want to say. I think it just helps bring them to light if you put a little highlight in the eye. We'll stick on a little nose, and then for his little tongue I'll stick that in, and I'll use a pointed shaped tool to push that tongue right into place and to kind of open up the mouth. Last but not least, we're going to prick in some little whisker marks, the finishing touch for our little lion. Isn't that cute? Now I would bake this on possibly on a cooling rack where this area of the aluminum foil could hang straight down and the lion would sit right on the rack like that. And that, or you could just lay him down to bake him. It won't flatten out too much on the back. Either way would be fine. Bake him for about 30 minutes at 275. When he's done, you're ready to put on a puppet show.